Hello lovelies, Rotting Jack Fox here. Before I start with this video of whether it was the god of protection, tomorrow and Sunday I will be posting 2 new what ifs. The first what if mainly revolves around danganronpa. I don't know how to say the name, but it starts with a D. And I hope you guys actually can hear me. If you don't know what danganronpa is, I heard some people say it like that, so and if you haven't seen any people's playthrough of the game or watched the anime or played the game yourself, I suggest you watch it before you watch that video. And the second one is actually something I really wanted to be started as second after the video, which was supposed to be my first video on the channel. But anyways, I'm gonna start with the video. So where we left off is where Deku is at war with the Lord that is in charge of the heavens. And he found homes for every child so far. So let me get this straight. Shigaraki went with All Might, Shinzo and Eri went with Aizawa. Eri's like a baby still. Dabi, Toga went with Inko, and the rest went with others. As people see like the sky always acting strangely, whenever it's like 5 a.m. or even literally in the 1 in the morning, the sun is already up. Like going into dawn or even to night. The sky is always acting strangely for everyone in Earth, so they decided to check if it's someone's quirk. And they continue to check and over again, but they can't find anyone with a quirk that could match what's happening to the sky. Until one day they saw a thundercloud peering over the sky as it roared and clashed on the floor. As they all see someone fall from the sky, a guy with a white cloak, a veil, antlers with green hair, and a bandana over one of his eyes. From the rumors and the previous outlaws, they figured out it was the person who was taking away children, aka known as Deku, the god of protection. As they see him stand up with both legs, grabbing one arm, as he gets up and then uses an attack that mainly sheds the sky with water, aka rain. Deku made the world rain, well, mainly the heavens. As they immediately think that he's the one who's causing all this problem, as they see him jump up into the sky as he continues to fight the Lord. Yeah, I'm gonna continue calling him the Lord. So Deku and the other gods and goddesses are fighting as much as they can, continuously risking it all to keep the humanity of themselves and humans connected, since Deku is technically dead but also a god. As several weeks later for them, but in the human world it was like 1 day or so. Well, it was mainly a month for the gods and goddesses. Time works differently. As a month went by, as on Earth the sky slowly acted how it originally was. It was a bright sunny day at 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun was rising, letting in the night sky go down. As it became night at 9 o'clock. To them, it was still a little bit strange how several days ago the clouds and sky was acting so strangely and now is acting normal again. As they continue looking for the guy who fell from the sky, as people are calling him now, The police continuously get more reports of children going missing, and then a couple of weeks later, the children have found new homes, saying that they never want to go back to their old homes because how their parents treated them. And once the police figured out how the parents were treating the children, they arrested the parents for several violent reasons for crimes against children. I don't know what it's actually called. Deku basically saved a lot of lives, including Aries. Because if the Lord got his hands on Aries, I'm pretty sure I said this last week, the last video of this, he will take her and use her as an ability to reset the gods and goddesses. But the main reason how he uses it, he has to kill Aries to get her power. But now he's gone, which means that Lord died. They lost a lot of gods and goddesses. People were suggesting that Deku takes up the role of the Lord because he helped them get their feelings, their motives. But Deku said he wouldn't. He said he rejects. Well, actually, he rejects the role of being the next Lord. And when they ask why, it's because he fears that he might become as the old Lord was. Instead of being sweet and kind as he was made, he will be cold and sadistic. Deku was scared of that, and he said that I will continue my work on Earth, being the god of protection of other civilians and life on planet Earth. I suggest we all do our best things, but we mainly need roles and literally rules for us to not get out of hand, so we won't cause any problems or any uprising. Basically how the human world works, as when they all see how Deku mainly means by that, they see how the human world doesn't have like a king or a queen. It has a government, has literally a function. It doesn't have someone ruling over them, using them for their own mind games. Deku said we should act more like them instead of how the Lord wants us. Instead of us going on rampages every single day, we restrict ourselves, but not as much as the Lord has. As they all agree to this, and Deku continues his work on planet Earth, for he could be less noted on planet Earth. He disguises himself as a teenager with green hair and clover green eyes, which was very strange because normally green haired people were not very common in Japan. So people looked at him, and then they see him wearing a backpack and a uniform, which means that he is a student of a school, but they normally see him walking calmly for some reason, even though it was literally a middle of a day. And when someone asked him where is he going, he said that he might be running late, but it's fine because his school starts later in the day than normal schools do. Which would be pretty awesome if actual schools do that. Start later in the day. And then Deku decides to go rush into a school and then inform himself into the school by submitting himself into an actual school. And learning the ways of humanity as other gods kind of do the same. They hid themselves in humanity's eyes by turning themselves into other people. Like the god, like a builder god, he disguised himself as a blacksmith. But not any blacksmith, a blacksmith that creates and makes beautiful items to sell in jewelry stores. They see how the old age, back then when there was kings and queens, they were mainly hidden as army men or women that were mainly used for the king's delight. But now since the Lord has been banished, technically, because he was the one who was making them do this, they get the free will of whatever they want, even though they still have to restrict themselves. Anyways, I'm gonna get into the canon portion of this. It has been the third year of junior high. Deku and a group of people are talking, and when the teacher came in, all of them scurried into their seats. The teacher said, "Okay, everybody, I got the papers here for you guys could go into your next year." As other students said, "Aw," Deku said, "Hey, cheer up, maybe there might be other schools and maybe opportunities that could help us in the future with our talents or even get us into something new that we may not like before." As students continuously called him Cheesy, that was his nickname, because he was always so kind but always so cheesy with compliments. So, the teacher said, never mind, I know you all want to be heroes. As some students did go on the ground because the teacher did toss the papers in the air. As a guy with ash blonde hair said, "Hey, teach, don't let me in with these bunch of losers." As Bakugo went into the same rhyme. As Deku said, "Hey, we could still be heroes, even though we might not have powerful quirks. We could basically beat you, cause there's only one of you and many of us." As Bakugo said, "Yeah, and he's so cheesy. You are nothing." As Deku get offended by this because Bakugo was mainly one of the person he defended when he was a god still, from another bully helping him win the fight by disguising himself as a little boy cheering him on during the fight. And that offended Deku greatly. Anyways, I'm gonna skip to the Sludge Villain attack, but since the timer has reached 12:20, I have to stop.